Alrighty then, Fungus Network and the Fungal Cleanse update. This one's fascinating. I'm learning so many lessons about how the body works, how the society doesn't seem to understand how the body works, and how society does and doesn't work, because I'm getting rid of my subconscious nervous system patterns in my actual bodily systems, because by cleaning out the fungus, and that's what is showing me lots and lots of lessons. So what I've also been downloading as well, you know, the Satcha bumps that come through, meaning universal truth, which is really kind of fucking awesome actually. It's like the universe and your body telling you you're exactly on path. That thing that you said or that I said is exactly universal truth and universal law. It's magic. Confirmation is quite wonderful. It comes when you raise your Kundalini usually, so feel free. I'll show you how to do it if you like. So getting rid of the fungus is actually getting rid of our social programming, because that is our connection to society. So ideally what we want to do is connect our fungal network, get rid of the gunk out of that, which represents all these toxins. It's like fungal infections. And then we want to connect to Mother Nature's network, minus our own fungus and the heavy metals and toxins and herbicides and pesticides attached to that, which we got from society. So then there's the society's network, like the Matrix. But then we want to connect to our soul and our spirit, which is also our crown chakra. How we do that? Then we want to get to super fire and super consciousness to clean and clear and be on path with our soul, as much as we can. And then the universal ecstasy and bliss and joy that come attached to that. Fantastic, that is. So that's some of the things I've been going through and learning as a result, as my nervous system is coming re-online, because everything, organs and everything else is working well. You've cleared out a bunch of gunk. Your body can move on to the more subtle things to improve through its normal level of homeostasis. You just need to facilitate that. Give the resources and the support to make it easier and faster. Do it long enough, 2-3 years, good at it. You raise your Kundalini, you become a spiritual master. You learn who you are in your soul. So 3 years if you're good at it. I know lots of people have done it. They're at a high vibration and they know how to do it now, so they can show you how to do it. Easy, simple, right? So let's get into the body. Last night I had a Bikram yoga practice, one of my favorite practices, and my performance was pathetic. So for people with excellence, we don't like to do that. Pathetic performance doesn't work for us. So I knew that my whole body, because of doing cleansing, lots of fruits and things, it's always good to do Bikram yoga to sweat out all the gunk attached to that, and the nervous system and immune system gets a boost. Because every 15 minutes of sweating equals 24 hours, 1 day of getting rid of kidney gunk. So if you sweat for 90 minutes in a Bikram yoga class, moving your body, aligning it beautifully, strengthening it, then that's 6 days of getting rid of kidney gunk. Yeah, get rid of that. And then that's attached to urinary tract. So what's there? If kidneys are not powering, kidneys here are not powering, then there's no way that the urinary tract can be powering, because the kidneys are getting rid of infections. It's a job, it's overworked. So once you fix those, you reduce that overwork, and then you can go within. The power's always within. You have to do it with your perspective as your body as well, subconsciously. Then you can get rid of more urinary tract infections, and you don't store them as much. And once you've got rid of, over the last 18 months, I've probably got rid of thousands of stored urinary tract infections just from daily practices and aligning and herbs and doing the right things and having less work on the body to do. So you've now just become twice as efficient, or 5 times more efficient, because you know exactly what your body's doing. You're tailoring your herbs, your diet, your drinks, your teas, and your yoga practices and your diet and lifestyle practices to that particular part of your body. So for me, it's urinary tract at this stage. And then as the urinary tract is coming back online with more power, your nervous system and your hormonal level, which of course is linked to your chakras, become more available, because they're not taxed to do an extra work of getting rid of toxins. That's just hard work. Then if you've got more available resources and perfectly tailoring all of those things to it, your body gets so much more efficient at getting rid of gunk on a daily basis. So then your performance is high. You have a high excellence, because your body's not really getting rid of gunk. And then of course, any time that you're doing that faster level of homeostasis, operating in high vibration, that's exactly what it means, then you can give to the world, because you're not giving to yourself, and what you're giving back energetically, emotionally, and spiritually, and subconsciously, and psychology, is you're giving to the world. You're coming from a service because you've got yourself sorted. You've got number one taken care of. You can give to others from a more complete place and a cleaner place. So you don't have those emotional imbalances in your life and the drama that people are recreating. Because that drama is actually stored memories and light through their body's nervous system. But their nervous system is so stimulated to never actually stop to figure any of this stuff out. Because they're always watching TV or, alcohol and drugs, essentially what society tells us. So this is many reasons why society is not good for us. We never actually feel our bodies. You never get any peace, essentially. So, back into the body. I want to show you what's been going on, because you have to go through it to show. So these ones has been this same treatment, the zapping of a Tesla UV light, which is just replicating the way the sun goes through the ozone layer, getting more UV onto the skin, because these moles are simply trapped fungus. And of course, it's just trying to get away from your internal fire in your solar plexus and your nervous system to the external sun outside of us, the bringer of light. It's beautiful. Everything in society tells us it's not good for us, but what? That doesn't make any sense. It's the way light works. And of course, it's just trapped fungus, because light and the sun burns off mucus and trapped fungus by connecting the external sun with your internal sun. Once you get that connected, you get rid of mold and fungus, and then you live so much better and more clear, fresh, and in tune with your soul's life, much like indigenous cultures. And that's why they do it, because Western world doesn't connect with their Mother Nature as much as they could. So they don't get their fungus out. They don't connect with Mother Nature through their nervous system and their feet and their body. So their whole networks are way off. So, as we can see, first of all, my armpit here, I don't know if you can see that, but it's really red and sore. So that's a sign that and it's on both sides. This has never happened before. I always sweat, right? My lymphatic and run, so my lymphatic system was always brilliant. But it's working harder now, not having to get rid of all the normal people gunk, can work on the fungus. Like specifically with so much more resources and precision and efficiency. Won't be like that. And they are spreading. Like we've been having the zapping treatments, like with in these little ones, and they're with a needle, so it goes straight in. It zaps on the outside of the first part, just to give it a bit of a zap and kill the fungus and the mold. Give it an indication that's there, and then you can put the needle in on those spots, and you get right into the network, which then goes for the fungal network that's actually under the body, under the skin. So it's kind of like the way a volcano works. Underneath you've got layers of magma underneath the planet, and then it's just the volcano is required as a funnel to get out the magma and the fire. Because we're lots of fiery people, our bodies are getting lots of acidity out. Has to get it out somewhere. So it obviously has to go out through urinary tract, which makes urinary tract infections a big problem. And going on and on and on. It's tens of thousands of them. Because our nervous system's not getting that far down, the fungus takes over and distracts us from going from point A to point C. Right? And I can feel it now. And then if you get so far off with these relate this to people's lives and the whole distractions of their lives. And then you can see this one is about the size of a 50-cent piece. It's bloody sore. To tell you the truth, I've been having a bit of problems with it, but you can see there's a redness around it, and that's the fungal network that's around the actual mole. It's been opened up with a few treatments, UV treatments. If we want to funk up the fungus, get into the network and screw it all up, and remove the fungal infections that have been there for decades, and then get through to our actual soul. And of course, it also means our body has a lot less work to do, so we're going to live much, much longer. We're going to have much lighter and much cleaner have so much more energy and be connected with Mother Nature and the universe and your actual soul, then you're super connected, you can give easily. And you're not giving back to the matrix as much as you can give back to your own matrix, yourself, your soul. That's quite wonderful. So, back to these mold and fungus. I'm totally convinced that the mothership is of fungal infections is in the spleen. The things that tell me that is that's where a lot of the gas and the stuff, parasite die-off and fungal die-off is coming from, and the noise is there. And then, of course, just underneath on the large intestine, that's the reflex point for the spleen. So, as a result, that tells me, hang on, there's lots of stuff, and that's a spot on a corner or a bend of the large intestine. So that means a lot of crap builds up there. And if that reflex point through the nadis and the nervous system or the meridian lines from the spleen goes through, and then you don't have enough red blood cells, the nervous system doesn't get the messages to get to the urinary tract and further down the body with the nervous system to get stuff out. That's not working efficiently, is it? And that gas, that was a fungal die-off. It came from the spleen because I'm talking about it. I'm just getting focused attention, and probably whoever else is. Energetically, it knows it's getting had. It has to have some sort of reaction. It's an action from the past. Yeah, because that message, that thought pattern has to go through the imbalance in the spleen. Yeah, you get an action off it. And that means, you take in energy or the light to help yourself with. And if you get an experience outside of you that's giving you a message back and you don't learn the lessons, you keep repeating the same message, you're going to progress. You're just going to get worse in your health and worse in your spirit and worse in your whole life. Because you're just not slowing down and fixing what's going on with your body. So the body stores it there, gets it back somewhere else, and is wasting its energy all the time. Whereas now, by doing these sort of cleanses, you can take back your energy because you're not wasting it through critters and gunk, which are actually actually presented to you in front of your own life, just that people can't see through the symbolism from your own conscious mind. So you see how the fungus affects the mind subconsciously, and then wider in the superconscious and in our matrix. So there's a fungus network inside of all of our body, being so disconnected from Mother Nature, puts us in the matrix network. And then we start thinking like the matrix, especially with Wi-Fi and TVs and mass media. Then you're thinking exactly of how people who want to control you think. Because you're in amongst it, you can't help yourself. If you don't have enough energy to do your normal day-to-day things with, great diet and food and supplements and everything else, being great condition for your body, you're actually energetically and on all levels suffering from the matrix. Because you've got the matrix within you, the fungal matrix, and then all the toxins, and then the different layers of the matrices that is behind. Is a big filter through the matrix systems. So you got to clean out those systems to be able to recognize, no, that's not good for me, that's the matrix thing. It's not good for my soul. I'm going to do this instead. Because the fungal network will take over the message. Then with all the toxins and the gunk from Western society and people's things in their body, the message doesn't get through. It has to go through so many more layers and filters, and then people end up drinking Maccas and Coke, burgers and stuff that's not right for their body and not actually good for them. Once you get rid of those toxins, that desire is gone. So you do a coffee in a mirror and you go, all of those viruses that were affecting my mind, giving me the flutteriness and airy-fairy and delusional shit, you can flush them out in an hour. But you keep doing it, you flush more and more out, because the subconscious diseases, the viruses that are stuck in the butt, are the ones that are controlling the nervous system and the thought patterns. And if we don't have enough energy to get down to the butt, which, let's face it, with all the crap that people eat and I used to do, even with lots of fire, it has to go through the acidity or the imbalances of the fungus in the body, but it also has to go through that network of all of the filters of society and the matrix and the toxins and things that are in our bodies. Mucus plaque and parasites and intestinal flukes and all sorts of things that have come out over a number of years of detoxing. So as a result, I can now see what it's like to have those disorders and those mental thoughts and patterns with what was in my body. And then when you remove them, you have so much more understanding of what the effects of these things were. Understand? Because you're free from it. You've got rid of the toxic things that were affecting the mind. It's not just from the environment. We've had that in our environment for as long as we've lived. So we need to get more energy to take on those things in our environment comfortably without taking away from our own bodies and our own souls and our own self. Where we can step away, with weekend retreats and things like that, but if you can do it on a more longer term basis, even better. You can start to heal yourself. You can touch with your body and you say, what does my body need to help and heal itself? And then the universe starts to go, yeah, here's this person, here's this idea, here's this supplement, here's this product, here's this treatment. And you start healing yourself. Quite wonderful. And then that becomes, the more and more that you do that, and the more you fit on your daily routine and your practical life, then you're more likely to do it. Now, I need to drink. So, that means the more time you spend with yourself, helping and healing yourself, the more you can give back to people in your love and family and the things you need to do, rather than give back to the matrix. Because you've got that mental program. It's not programming, it is in a way, very much in a way. The Wi-Fi has a frequency, and if your low vibrational frequency is operating at McDonald's frequency or Coke frequency, it's very low vibrational and dense. And that means you're going to have a lot of toxins in it, a lot of chemicals and all sorts of, scientific experiments. We're natural creatures, we're not a science experiment. We use science to try to understand it, and that has an average job. When you get higher understanding, you'll notice that much more easily because your nervous system and your thought patterns are working well and fast. Then you'll get medicines to help that nervous system improve. Why? Because that's what your body needs, and its level of ascension and homeostasis means that you're expanding and growing. You're doing it from your own nature rather than the matrix nature, because you're energizing yourself. That fit in? It does, doesn't it? So the more time you can help and heal yourself, the more you can help and heal others. And then those subconscious bodily messages appear in your world. So for me, big things were Shilajit. That was magic. Once I fixed that and used that for a while, my body said, okay, that's great. Now we can use it to rebuild. Now, oh look, the universe will send you something like black salve. This stuff's magic. People have used it to fix off cancer and all sorts of stuff. It's good for funking up the fungus. That's what it's good for. Right? Because cancer is a systemic fungal infection. 3 words. You understand it when you make it simple. How the body works. When you know how the body works, you understand how to fix these things, and then the universe brings them to you. Or if you ask. Asking is easy. Ask me. I'll always know. So, I've been putting the black salve. This is why these things are pretty dark. And especially this one. If you put the black salve in that one, it draws out the fungal infections. It's a salve, man. It really is a salvation. The more of these fungal infections you can take out, the less work the body is doing. So on toxic load, you're actually getting into the things that are controlling your mind to be toxic. By consciously choosing to remove them, so then when you choose to, you can see the effect in your life and in your mood and in your body. You keep doing this on a daily basis, ideally. You start to separate yourself more and more from the matrix, because you're actually helping and healing and getting into the body, the causes. Because all the causes are in the body and all the causes are in the solar plexus. Because what we really need to do on this path for natural health and a soulful life, what you need to do is you need to connect your as above with your so below. And this is perfect. Look, there's a cross. Well, the perfect universe always gives you what you need. So, as above, so below. That's the way the nervous system works. Okay, it's pretty much like that. And this means that you need to connect your nervous system up top your heart and your lungs and all your higher brain functions of your nervous system with your nervous system of your butt, essentially. So we need to get the nervous system connected all the way down there to become whole and to become more complete. And then as a more complete body and a more complete temple or template, because the word temple was changed from the word template. And in French changed. Well, it is from the medieval and ancient French word for template. So, once you can more complete and make your body more complete and more whole in a nervous system, connecting the top and the bottom halves of the nervous system, Tree of Life symbolism such as this. You see, my nervous system is reacting from critters. I just put a Tree of Life symbolism on my body, showing that they're getting shown up to the next level. Whatever fungus or whatever thing is in my nervous system had to have a reaction from a gas because I was directly assessing it from it and saying hello. This happens in conversation. You're triggered by it because it's just the next part of the nervous system that needs to be going back online or going backwards for most people. And what's in the middle? In the middle is the gut. That's the solar plexus. That's the plexus of the soul. That's the most important part of the body, especially for your nervous system and the conductivity and messages that are getting there, because it's the connection between the top and the bottom. Not only that, when you look at the Jesus on the cross, anything with a cross symbolism, put it in the body, on the solar plexus. See how, remember when the priest would bless you, look at the shadow here that's on my body and my solar plexus. As above, so below at the solar plexus. And the alignment of the cross is your masculine and your feminine sides. Your feminine being your left side, because it's soft and nurturing and giving, because most people are right-handed, so they can give with the yang, do masculine things and get things done with their hands and be more yang. So we need to balance both sides of the body. That tells us we need to get a chiropractic alignment. Brilliant, ideally. And also to balance the organs on both sides of the body in the nervous system. So you need to detoxify the liver and the gallbladder, then the spleen has more time to nurture. Which is exactly what its job is. It's feminine, it's nurturing, it's giving, it's rebuilding. So it's essentially you don't have to waste much energy on detoxification. You can rebuild the body with it, especially for red blood cells. And that's connected, the spleen's connected to the kidneys and reproductive system. So we need to connect that back up with more nervous system messages, therefore more energy to get there. To not only get the messages back to your soul, and then once you get enough of this nervous system back online, then of course you have, and with a good spine, you have maximum chance of releasing your kundalini, because that's the energy that comes up from the base to the solar plexus, then up through the crown when you get good at it. When you get rid of your self-sabotage practices and start rebuilding and detoxifying, essentially. Master herbalism is helpful too. Then you have maximum conductivity of your nervous system, and therefore your potential in the world and the potential in your universe, because you are the universe. Your temple or template for the universe is your body. The more you can align your body and then therefore your mind, which is just changing the stories and reprogramming to some universal stories rather than society stories with lots of matrix. So we don't need the matrix thinking, but it's subconsciously in our body, stored in the toxins and the chemicals and quite often the foods, if they're just food-like products. So we need to get rid of these things out of the body. So obviously the easiest way to cut that down quickly is to stop putting them in. Get to the cause, right? So if we need to get rid of people's self-sabotage practices and the food and their gunk, and they're eating well and brilliantly with supplements and herbs and detoxifying treatments and daily lifestyle, then you can really rebuild the body. And you can do it quite quickly, because when you get rid of the gunk, then your body has much more time to rebuild itself without wasting money, resources on the gunk. It's easy, really. And you need techniques and mineral balance and ideally the best physique you can get to do that, because that's a light body. A lot of spiritual delusional people will go, I want a brilliant shiny light body. Yeah, earn it. make your body less dense. Remove the density, the low vibrational density, which is stored in this part of your body. Then your body can be up higher. Look, as above, so below, as within, as without. And we project from our solar plexus because that's what our body and nervous system is most focused on. Because it gets back to try to get the message to the brain, the gut-brain connection, or solar plexus, Ajna chakra. Connect the fire in the solar plexus with the fire in the brain, especially the nervous system. Then, once that's clean and clear, you have so much more fire and more power and a light body because you got rid of the density down here that was keeping you from not being able to move. That means all the organs and everything here's got a lot of gunk in the way. So, get rid of the gunk, you've got a bucket load more time and energy to fix yourself. And you need less and less resources to do that. So you find you eat less. You just get more maximum density and you've got more energy from that as well. And your body can rest and stop and heal itself with all of these resources around you. And then, because you know when you only really let go of when you're feeling in a safe and comfortable place, you know, that comes from your whole body and then your whole life. So when you can do that, you can just let go. Oh, how nice is it, you know? Try doing that more often. And then doing it in meditation or chanting or slow practices, qigong or something like that. Then you have the time your body can reconnect with itself and move how you want to move and do what you want to do and heal and fix and repair rather than doing what Matrix or the toxins are, and especially the fungus, are showing you what is apparently meant to be good to do. So the key is to remove yourself from the fungal infections, and we have tens of thousands of them, don't worry about that. It's taken me a few years, 4 or 5 years to get them all out, and I'm getting most done now. People are still adding that to themselves on a daily basis because of the splitting imbalances and not having the things for the lower half of the body. So that's the easiest way to clean it out. Flush it out. Flush out the acidity. You can do things easy, brilliant shankers with salt water. 5 asanas and a whole bunch of salt water, and you flush out all of your gunk. It's awesome. You have to face some stories in your mind sometimes, and hey, you got to face yourself all the time if you want to be any good at it. It's done. Or a coffee enema. Flush it out, let's say. You watch how good you are after that, the mental clarity, because you got rid of the low vibrational gunk, and then your nervous system connected so you can use more nervous system energy on top of the brain for higher brain function. So you detoxify, you clear out your gut, you've got more higher brain function capacity because it's connected to your gut. Ching! Easy, right? And even in the esoteric and Ayurvedic theories, you can see it. You've got to connect the solar plexus, the fire element, with the fire element here, and then when you've got enough of that, it's not wasted down here, you get more energy to open up the oxidative stress in the brain, so the nervous system is getting the messages to the brain, the thought patterns. So you've got to open up the conductivity and the messages and the pathways for it to happen. So you need to get rid of the low vibrational density from the bottom half of the body, which is the part that's causing all your problems, from your mind. Hang on, as above, so below, right? That fits, doesn't it? So if you want to get the nervous system messages reconnected, which is the one that's controlling the thoughts and the behaviors and emotions and all these things, it's the fungus that's on top of that is controlling them all. So that's happening in your body, that's happening in all the people around you, that happens on a wider basis in society, and then we get more and more control. So you can see how the toxins and the chemicals can actually take over control. It's quite remarkable. And it's like a volcano, like we're spitting fire at people or each other. And I'm noticing it more and more as I'm getting rid of the fungus. And my special programming is coming out. So I'm very much loving that. And getting rid of the toxic chemicals that are preventing my mind and my body from operating. So you're present at a higher level because you've got more nervous system energy and more bodily energy can focus on fixing the mind and the smaller things that are controlling the mind. Because getting rid of the parasites is a huge one. And parasites, fungus and heavy metals are the biggest things that are getting rid of things in our body and our mind. Control, because it's within our subconscious bodily temple and our subconscious mind. Alright, something else I've been using, it's been a really good one. Healing Pine Salve from Diamond G products. It's really good. Can you see the ingredients? There's olive oil and beeswax, pine gum resin, turpentine, Diamond G Forest Products. Like it. This turpentine, it's got high in terpenes. Anything high in terpenes is really good for molds and fungus and parasites, because they're fungus. And the fungus network that is controlling the subconscious mind, especially keeping more in like society's thinking. So I've been putting that on, because that's beautiful for this sorts of stuff. As you can see, it's nice yellow, perfectly natural products. It's got really strong high terpenes. I'm a big fan of terpenes because they're really good things to get rid of fungus. So here's the antifungal properties. Simple. Neem, eucalyptus oil, wild oregano oil, anything with turpentine in it. And it sounds like paint things, but it's much better natural quality product here from actual pine trees. And you can use it internally as best. So Ayurvedic oil enemas with this stuff in it is really good too. That's next level, huh? Put some neem in there and some 10-in-1 BioPure oil, and you're good to go. 10-in-1 BioPure oil. Google that one. That's really, really awesome stuff. And this is for healing after I've used the black salve to draw out stuff. This one so it can be, it's got a lot of antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic properties. And it's got oils to go in through the mucous membrane to regenerate it, to give it more electrical conductivity, and by sensitizing and rebalancing and rebuilding with it. And especially with the antifungal properties, so that's actually getting into your subconscious matrix programming, because it gives you more ability to detoxify your own body rather than in the matrix. So you see that the possibilities lie with that. The more you use these type of things and get rid of the gunk within your body, the more you can be more in touch with your soul and do things for you. It's most beneficial for you and the world, because you're not giving back to the matrix. Handy. Good thinking, isn't it? So yeah, this is quality stuff. I'll be putting that in more oil enemas as well, for sure. I'll do another one on Ayurvedic oil enemas. So, yeah, fungal cleansing. Oh man, and I felt some pretty horrible thoughts lately as well. And a lot of my thoughts are, how do I get out of the matrix? What's this psychology stuff with the people in mass consciousness that it's being controlled by fungus and parasites, and they call them UFOs. It's just that their subconscious mind control is not on target from the upper half of their body, their brain and their nervous system. Because I'm noticing my psychic skills is coming along really, really good, and then my body's able to fix the bottom half of my body's nervous system and to tell me I need to move this way and I need to dance this way. And then that reconnects my body to my nervous system, which then is high. That's another higher brain function. And then you live longer and you've got less gunk to worry about inside your body and therefore externally in your life as well. So, and as you can see, there's fungus up here, right? So this is the fungus network that I'm funking up. That is coming about in the top half of my body because I'm getting rid of the fungus in the bottom half of my body. Because that's the gut-brain connection, it's the solar plexus and the higher brain function in the nervous system. So the more you get rid of the gunk from below, the more higher brain function you get. Good, huh? Simple, isn't it? You just got to get a body that has a light body that doesn't have a lot of density. So getting rid of heavy metals and heavy gunk and sweating. And the density is fantastic, because when the density of critters and fungus and stuff, purified, clean body, that's the way to actually heal yourself, and you'll find you'll have created more time for yourself, because that's what your body wants, rather than spending time at work and doing things in the matrix. Handy that. So, subconscious mind control connect to the fungus. Fair bit, eh? Yeah. Because also, the fungus are controlling that nerve, the vagus nerve, which is the olfactory nerve, to the right side of the brain, through the nose to the butt, because that's your sense of smell in Ayurveda, or the earth element. So you can't smell the earth. Our bodies, we can touch this Shakti, is the earth. You can touch a tree, you know. You can put your bare feet on the ground. It's really good for touching your nervous system, reconnecting it to Mother Nature, so we can get the messages to get rid of the fungus and the parasites and things that are in the body. Handy that too, huh? So, social programming of fungus. Fair bit in that. And a fair bit of rambling, I'm being a bit high too. Have you noticed? Interesting. Anyway, better go do some other stuff.